everybody, and welcome to session 4 of the Soul's Confidant. We are skipping character intros tonight because we're doing a vignette episode and we have a lot to get through. First of all, hi, I'm Mare. I'm your game master for the evening and I use they, she pronouns. So as always, before we get started, we're all going to go around, say hi, who we're playing, our character sentence, and anything you would like to say that your character did during downtime. We're going to start with April.
Oh no, you started with me.
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm April. I play Lillian. What did she do during downtime? She worked with Val a lot during downtime and spoke about Ilsford. We learned some stuff.
Yes.
Nothing important though.
Alex.
Oh gosh, that's me. Hello everybody, my name is Alex. I use they, them pronouns. Tonight I will be playing Eleanor, who is a connected maker who revels in beauty. And let's see, I don't remember what I did in downtime. I think I made something. Don't quote me on that.
You made something. You also got a couple visits from people.
Yes, yeah, I did that too. See, Mare knows. I don't.
It's because I sent it to you. It's fine. Val.
Hi everyone, my name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I'm playing Ishmael, who uses he, they pronouns. Ishmael is a iconoclastic empath of the Order of Goetics, calls upon the serpent. A lot of things happen to me in downtime. Ishmael spent some time mostly with Lillian, kind of taking time to just go over some documents related and hearing more about Ilford, who he has a lot of feelings about, but is doing his gosh darn best.
C.
Hi y'all, my name's C. I use they, them pronouns. I am playing Alecto, who uses they, them, or Ray, rem pronouns, who is also known as the Curse Maker, who is an eremitic stoic apostate who converses with everything. And in their downtime, Alecto took care of one fiery friend and also paid their rent. And that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah, you paid your rent. I'm proud of you. You're a responsible renter.
I paid my rent, not Roshni's.
I misunderstood that.
And then we have Hamnah, who is also going to be doing our last session recap.
Yeah, I don't have rent, so that's that. Hello, everybody. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns. Today, I will be playing Roshni, who uses they, them pronouns. Roshni is an itinerant ardent of the Order of Weavers who caught Fire's eye. What did Roshni do during downtime? They were taken care of by the Curse Maker, as C mentioned. They also went to visit Ishmael to talk about Kirin a little bit more. And other things that we won't really talk about right now. Okay, cool. So, the recap. Previously on the Soul's Confidant. We reconvened at Ishmael's house, a curious place, difficult to find when you're trying, and yet so easy to stumble upon when you're not. His house, a golden snake with its fangs bared, an omen for the day ahead. I arrived with my own twin fangs, one strapped to my waist, the other a gift for Cursemaker. It seems the Cursemaker and Ishmael had some business together, for it appeared the apostate had arrived long before everyone else. Curious. I wonder what a maker of cursed objects might want with a shrewd negotiator like Ishmael. Or perhaps it was Ishmael who had invited the Cursemaker over, worried that the object, the jewelry that Gideon had stolen, was cursed somehow? They don't know half of it. It seems Ishmael has been speaking to many of us alone. He had spoken to Lillian, who it turns out has a greater connection to Gideon than we had previously thought. Family photo album. Lillian's mother, and Gideon. The latter two wearing Anya's creations, the hand armor. I would recognize that armor anywhere. Blue's armor. The one that I couldn't forget it. Though I have tried, do try, every day. So I suppose it was only a matter of time before the group wanted to go to that damned place, the Blue Royal. No matter how far I run, the currents keep bringing me back there. back to them. But I wasn't going to go there unprepared, not this time. I'm not a fool. I purged myself of everything that mattered and let myself sink into the apathy I fear will one day take hold. An emotion leaf, carefully tucked into the pages of my book. Thank you, Eleanor, darling. But who should I meet on Eleanor's doorstep than the wielder of my blade's twin, the curse maker? Ray seemed surprised to see me, worried perhaps, making kind offers they normally don't. And so we walked, silently, to the Blue Royal, only to find that Lillian and Ishmael seemed to have been jostled by something themselves. The cracks on Lillian's skin, ever present and ever moving, had multiplied. Fangs bared, an omen for the day ahead. Getting into the Blue Royal proved more difficult than I had hoped. The last time I was here had been destructive. There was only a little property damage, and really Emery and I hadn't even been here long, but the place holds a grudge. I loathe that it was Taryn who let us in. Taryn. Blue. The same weaver, smug and matter-of-fact, wearing the jewelry as always, wearing a new earring, a bauble with a lightning storm roiling inside. It seems I've burned them too. Created a crack in that fucking poker face. Something to know what's going on in their head. Which, as it turns out, was not of much use to our investigations. Kieran had lost the jewelry to Taryn on purpose before the war, and that was the last they had seen of the thief, of Ishmael's threat. Just when I thought our visit had been for naught, the curse maker, the curious curse maker, offered a game. Ray surprised me, making risky offers they normally don't. Ray surprised me even more when they won. They cheated, but they won. I'll never forget the look on Taryn's face when they lost. Not so smug after losing to an apostate who had never before woven the web of the spider's game, are you, Taryn? Now that very apostate has the armor, and all that's left is to take it.
Thank you. Roshni. This is a couple days after the Blue Royal and after Alecto won the hand armor from Taryn. People have talked to each other, had reconvened, learned some interesting information, and in Lillian's case, got to test out her new toy that she got from her demon friend Ilford, processing photos and the like. We start off the game on the Silver Sun with Elusive Sleep. Value of 6. Vision, swans, blades, and water. Meanings futility, worry, stress, and awareness. The richest noble cannot buy sleep. The strongest among us cannot compel its submission. Even the wisest person might lose a night's rest to anxiety. Still, when we're awake, we are aware, and that awareness can be crucial. Roshni, where do we find you alone and contemplative tonight?
Ironically, Roshni has not slept very well. There's a place just off of our town. It is a forest, a part of the woods that is perpetually on fire. Nobody really goes there because, well, why would they?
It's hot and roiling all of the time. And nobody is able to penetrate these fiery woods without burning themselves. Nobody except for, well, Roshni. And so they oftentimes, when they want to be alone, because nobody else can follow them, will go into this ever-burning forest, travel through the trees, and inside they find themselves inside of the ocean. It's weird, this ocean, because when you step inside of it, it's like you're breathing air. You know that there's water around. You can feel it. You can swim in it, but you don't drown while you're there. It's quiet. It's peaceful. And it's where Roshni goes to be alone.
You say that no one else can follow you into these ever-burning woods, and yet always at the corner of your eye you see it. the devil stag, always following and watching, with its burning antlers and burning eyes, with the face of the person you want to see most, theirs. You are able to escape its eyes and its grasp. It does not catch you today. And you find yourself in this underwater, silent, quiet oasis. It is so deep in this part of the ocean that you see no light above. And the fish swim by, not even giving you a second glance as if you are not there. It is quiet until it is not. When you hear from at your hip a voice. "Oh, Firehead, I was looking for you."
Roshni looks down at their satchel, confused, because their trinkets don't talk.
Your trinkets do not talk. It seems to be coming from your book.
Roshni takes out their book from their satchel and, starts to flip through the pages, trying to find the one where this voice is coming from.
It's not hard to find, as tucked in the very front of your book, a picture you requested from Lillian. A picture of Taryn, that was snapped right as you and Alecto were leaving the VIP lounge of the Blue Royal. And lounging on this chair that was in the VIP lounge is Taryn, looking up at you and giving you a little wave as you finally let them out of this dark confines of your book and pouch.
To be clear, Roshni asked for all of the pictures that Lillian had taken that day. I would like to specify.
Yes, but there's only one in your book.
Can't argue with that.
Exactly. I was looking for you. How are you? Are you well today?
Taryn?
Oh, no.
How did you...
You don't remember me from the other day? Other week? I don't remember. Time is weird sometimes.
No, I would remember if I had spoken to a photograph before.
And they kind of look at you for a split second and then smile. My apologies. I must have gotten the wrong. I must have spoken to someone very similar. My apologies. It's rude to not introduce yourself to a new friend, a potential new friend. I am Shudder.
Shudder. It's, I suppose, nice to meet you. I'm Roshni, although I think you probably already know that, don't you?
Yes. I was hoping we could talk business and talk with each other tonight. Today, It's hard to tell when it's hard to tell down here.
Business, right. Yes, of course. You know, this is a really unusual way for a client to come and find me. Why don't we speak face to face somewhere?
Oh, it's not that kind of business. It's not secret business. It's something else.
What other business would you have with me?
I have a proposition for you because it is so very rare to find someone who is just like me.
Just like you?
Yes.
In what way?
Does it hurt being so empty all the time?
Who are you?
Oh, I'm a demon. I go by Shudder.
You must be mistaken, because I am not a demon, darling.
Oh, I know you're not a demon. You're a Vizsla. But it's really, really unfortunate to be associated and similar to a demon in this way. Because I think we both know what we're laying down, right?
Have you spoken to anyone else about this?
Oh no, it's just an observation I met.
An observation? And how long have you been watching me?
Oh, not too long. A couple days at most. And I wasn't even looking at you, it's just something I noticed. But anyway, since we're the same, I'm sure we both want the same thing, right?
Perhaps.
Beautiful. Now, I've seen some of the photos your dear Lillian has taken, and I've kind of been hanging around and listening a little bit. What if I told you I can help you figure out the location of some of those lovely hand armors that you're looking for? Because I'm going to be quite honest, Alecto. No, sorry, I wouldn't say Alecto. They would not know that. The Curse Maker has one, I believe, but no offense, my dear, I don't think you could forcibly take it from them. And if you forcibly took it from them, they would be very upset with you, and I also don't think you want that.
You don't know what I want.
I know you want a soul.
And you also... I'm sorry?
Oh, I know you want a soul. Every person who does not have one wants one.
Right. And this other hand armor, I presume you know that it was stolen.
Yes.
So where is it then?
It's hard to figure out exactly, but I can tell you who has it. I can tell you who, and I can definitely keep an eye out on their movements because they don't stick to one place.
You seem awfully friendly for a demon. Something tells me you want something in return.
I do. I want a hand armor. You want a hand armor. To get what you want, right?
And how would you, a demon who lives in a photograph, use an item like that, exactly?
That's my problem to figure out, my dear.
And so what? You want to help me find it so I can use it and then give it over to you?
Oh, no. I'm saying we get one each for both of us. Do you prefer garnets or diamonds?
Diamonds, I suppose.
Okay, then you can have that one. I don't have a preference.
Well, if I can't forcibly take this hand armor from the Curse Maker, as you have so eloquently put it, then
You're
how
more
am
than
I
welcome
supposed to get
try.
that?
But I'm not saying... Please. The Curse Maker gets to keep rares, and then I can lead you to the other two.
There's 3.
Yes.
Ah, and do you know who has both of them?
They aren't really kept on the same person all at once. I believe you're familiar with one of them, Kieran?
Yes, we've been trying to track down Kitten for some time now.
Yes. The other one is in the hands of their sister, Avelia.
I see. Yes, Ishmael did mention a sister when we last spoke. Although we don't know much about her.
Kind of a bitch.
What do you know about her?
Kind of a bitch.
Oh. Sounds like my type.
Yeah, she's a bit of a spitfire too. Kind of walks all over her sibling, but what are you gonna do?
And are the two of them working together on this?
To my knowledge, that from what I can tell just by peering through pictures, yeah.
Yes. You seem to be quite well acquainted with Kitten's family. You wouldn't happen to know anything about their father, would you?
Not recently.
But from before?
Yes, a long time ago, but I haven't seen them recently, so I don't know his involvement very well. But I can tell you right now, both of them have been hanging around the Hollows recently.
The Hollows. I see.
Yes.
That might explain the recent activity that's been
Exactly.
going on over there.
It might be a good place to start, and in the meantime, I can figure things out if this deal is amenable to you. One for me, one for you, and you get to keep your lovely whatever you're having with the Curse Maker.
We're not having anything.
Anyway, are you amenable or not? Because I can just fuck right off, it's fine.
No. You can stay.
Well, I gotta
But
fuck off
in the
soon
future-
anyway, but in the future.
In the future, maybe don't use this picture. I have others.
Okay, put another in your book and I'll use that one.
Okay,
Yes.
it's a deal then.
One of you, how about that? Is that too awkward?
Even I'm not that narcissistic. Shudder.
Okay. Well, and next, when I find out more information, maybe something a little more specific, like, hidey holes or hideaways, I'll let you know.
I look forward to it. And how often should I expect your little visits?
A couple times a month. Or whenever I find something interesting. If you talk at a picture long enough, I'm sure I'll show up eventually.
Okay, good to know.
Okay. It is
Thank you for
lovely.
visiting, Shutter.
It is lovely to meet you.
It's lovely to meet you too.
And the image stills of Taryn looking forward as if watching someone walk away. We smash cut to the Cursemaker's shop, where the 5 of you have reconvened several days later to figure out next steps and talk strategy.
I think Ishmael would arrive first. Sorry, I needed a moment to gain whatever's left of my mind back.
You gotta get into Ishmael mode, because Ishmael
I
don't
have
know
to.
shit.
Ishmael don't know shit.
I probably
cool.
should. Let me give you a second. I'll pull the next card. How about that?
Huh?
Hey, we're entering a new. We pull a new card every time we enter a new scene.
I know, but we're all processing.
Okay, it's fine. This will give you another a minute and a half to process. Okay.
I wasn't expecting that drop, but
Oh, I said there were going to be a lot of juicy drops this episode. On the green sun, the tyrannical clock. Value 6 notions, cats, clocks, and wind, meaning suppression, time, countdown, schedule, and repetition. Invisible magic is enhanced. We live and die, quite literally, by time. It rules our actions, for we have no actions without it. We struggle to accomplish what we must be by a certain time, or we face grim consequences. We eat, sleep, and even breathe, measured by the movements of the clock. It is our master. It is our enemy. Now you can have...
That's fantastic. I love that for me.
Do you have your brain cells back?
Never. No.
Well, you're gonna need them.
Yep, sure. Ishmael, I think, would arrive pretty early, if not first. And where is Cursemaker's door this time?
Oh, what a fantastic question. I think it's right next to a second door of like a different, I think it's a clock shop, we decided. So there's like a clock shop across from Rafi's Odds and Oaths, which is where the front door to Cursemaker's shop is. And the back door is actually completely across the way. Literally right next to the door for the other shop, I think. But people keep only going into the clock shop as though they can't see the door.
Yeah, I think Ishmael would definitely do that, just kind of like caught in the motion of everything, and then kind of like pop in and then realize that's a clock shop, pop out and head back to the real door and goes, I have no idea how Cursemaker keeps doing this. I just have the one door. Look for the snake's mouth, you're in. Very simple, very straightforward. And kind of mutters to himself as he enters the door and sees the Cursemaker and kind of like pushes his hair back. Ah, good morning, my friend.
Good morning. Ishmael, did you go into the clock shop?
Yes, I'll give you that impression.
Your hair looks a little ruffled.
Yeah, I have no idea how you keep up with the changes, to be completely honest. It's very impressive. I just have the one door, my house, and that's the mouth.
Well, that mouth changes, doesn't it?
Not too often, but it seems to have decided that it wants to remain open this time, but we'll see. And he will hand over to Alecto a small cup of tea, decaffeinated, so you don't have the morning jitters.
How thoughtful you are. And Alecto,
I am to my friends.
And Alecto, I think, was literally like sharpening their fucking greatsword, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep.
like grinding it down. And they just kind of like put it off to the side of their workbench and like, again, shove this gold plated owl mask up over their head. And they kind of lean back and take the tea.
Mm-hmm.
You're a touch early, aren't you?
Yes, but I was also afraid that I would get lost in some form of matter like I did last time. So I try to leave a little bit of time before arriving. Also because this hand armor business is very perplexing.
And Alecto, I think, like has the teacup almost at their lips, and they're still wearing that hand armor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they their mismatched eyes kind of glance down at it, and then back up at Ishmael. You don't even know the half of it.
Oh, so you've had time to discern its properties.
Properties. It's complicated. I've been waiting for more information from you all.
Well, it always seems to always be that way, doesn't it? And you see Ishmael kind of like has his own cup, takes a big swig, sighs, and is like, all right, I will get my journal out. And hopefully the others and my own research didn't turn up much of anything so far, but we'll see.
How long does it take for Roshni, Eleanor, and Lillian to get there?
Whatever on time would be is probably about when I would show up.
So Lillian would be there, like same thing.
Roshni is late on purpose. They are trying not to be alone with Cursemaker.
This is the day after Blue Royal, right?
A couple days.
Couple days. So is everyone's thing that happened during development scenes have already happened or no?
Yes.
Okay, understood.
If we're meeting in the morning, Lillian would again bring donuts or something.
I love it.
An
Muffins.
angel.
She got muffins this time. Muffins that are like actual little clouds.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so Lillian and Eleanor, you arrive at the same time. Lillian having brought muffins. I love it. And Roshni is late. But I'm assuming you're not going to talk about anything important until Roshni gets there.
Oh, good morning. Hello. Hi. Hello. How's everyone today?
You're here to feed my sweet tooth yet again, Lillian. Put it on the table, please.
She like doesn't even like say anything. She just slides it and opens the box in one movement. Did everyone have a good last couple days?
I've gleaned some things, but it's still lacking some pieces. So I'd like to collect my thoughts before I announce any of them, just so I can piece them together.
Glad to see you back, Eleanor.
Thank you. It's been a busy few days.
You missed quite the adventure at the Blue Royal.
That's an understatement.
Is that where you got your
And Alecto flexes in turn, or like, does the hand thing in turn. I'm good at games, so it turns out.
Excellent game, might I add.
Thank you, Ishmael.
If it belongs anywhere, it belongs with you.
I don't know if that's true, Eleanor, but for now, I will take care of it.
And I think that is probably about when Roshni arrives. And today they are back to their usual self. The book poking out of their satchel, still there as usual. The ribbon, a very familiar blue. Ah, I see you have all arrived before me. Good.
There are 3 things certain: death, taxes, and that we will arrive at locations before you.
Charming as always, Ishmael.
Always glad to see you again, darling.
You too. So, and Roshni walks over to the Cursemaker's desk, hops on over to their workbench and sits on it. What did everybody learn?
Sadly, not much on my end. Just nothing unusual or nothing that we couldn't have found out through other means. There were some notes scribbled, but nothing concrete yet. Sorry.
We know that some documents are indeed missing.
Yes, there are some books missing. Also, my aunt was able to get a meeting with Briss, and I can take one other person with me.
Who is Briss? This is an Alex question.
So Bress Lawn is the proprietor of Tryst of the Heart, the bathhouse near Ishmael's. Roshni would have I believe Roshni let everyone know one of the previous sessions that he was arrested because he was getting his emotion leaves that are used in the baths illegally.
Specifically from Kiran, it would appear.
Yes.
I know a bit about the emotion trade, so perhaps I could help, but that's about all I can offer.
I mean, any help would be great. I don't even know where to start with a line of questioning for something of this nature, so thank you, Eleanor. Your help would be greatly appreciated.
Of course.
Well, anyone else?
Mayor, this is a GM question. Have I been able to discern anything about the hand armor specifically?
I believe I pulled a card for that, and the answer is no. Except that you were able to confirm that it is magic, and that it was made by Anya. Her signature is on it.
Great, thank you for that. Alecto also kind of shrugs. They have a muffin in one hand and the teacup in the other, and they're kind of like holding both of them away from where Roshni like jumped onto the desk. And they're like, the hand armor doesn't like talking yet. We're still getting to know each other. More might develop, and I have been thinking I need to pay someone a visit to get to know a little bit more.
That hand armor and I are very well acquainted, a curse maker. If you want to pass it over to someone who knows it a little bit better.
No, I don't think I do. Thank you for the kind offer, though.
The offer's always there.
I know.
Well, that's aside. And you see Ishmael kind of like open his journal and pace around, flipping through the notes. Regarding that hand armor, I did learn something. There's an individual who spoke of this to me in confidence, so I will not reveal who they are. Due to the nature of what they had seen regarding this. And once I tell you their properties, you'd probably understand why. Apparently, the one that you hold, the one that Kiran got rid of, is one that a weapon of some sorts, providing a permanent end to one's existence, a permanent death. A painful one, apparently. I don't know more than that, but they seemed like they did not want to speak more of it, so I did not push.
I shoot a look at the curse maker at this information.
And Alecto meets Eleanor's gaze with like a hard question in their face too.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Yeah, and so is Alecto, and they look down at the hand armor, and they take like a long minute to look at it.
Based on
Death is
the
quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Death is quiet. Maybe that's why it doesn't want to talk.
I see.
I was muted. Do you mind if I take a look at it?
Be careful.
As always.
Alecto doesn't take it off, but they do offer their hand.
Yeah, so I was going to say, I would like to examine this thing like on Curse Maker's hand, like sort of manipulate their hand to investigate the item. So yeah, let's take a look at my sheet. Fuck, okay.
Can you... I actually calculated the item level for this.
Mm-hmm.
Are you able to add more than a +2 to your roll? Or a plus...
Almost
a plus, sorry,
almost certainly.
a +3 or +4. because otherwise you will not succeed in figuring out what this does.
So do I need more than 2? Do I need 3 or do I need 4?
How does math work? You need a +4.
Okay. Well, let's see. Because I don't really have anything to lose. So I have identifying, understanding, materials. Would that count?
I believe that is materials, not objects and like items.
Okay, then in that case, probably not.
Okay, then I'm not gonna make you waste your resources.
Sure. I couldn't even begin to guess.
And I think at that point, Alecto's eyes shift from Ishmael to Roshni. You said you knew a lot about this, Roshni. Is this information you were familiar with?
I simply said that I am intimately familiar with it simply because of the person who used to own it, Cursemaker. I don't know very much about it other than Terran used to wear it all the time. They never took it off. It never left their side. They seemed very guarded of it.
Perhaps for good reason.
Yes, it does seem.
I have an idea, but we'll have to talk about that later.
Do you say this out loud?
Yeah. And that's mostly like communicating to the Cursemaker. Like, I have an idea that we could try, but we'll have to talk about that later.
Roshni gives Eleanor a look, and it's just like, darling, if you have an idea, you can share it with the class.
I have a contact who is they're very significantly more skilled than I am in terms of making things. But let's just say we're not on the greatest of terms. So.
Eleanor, I was going to take this to Teth.
That was what I was going to suggest.
Oh, curious. I myself was going to give Teth a visit later today.
How do you know them?
Roshni points at...
Do you know them?
Who is this person?
Do you keep the dagger that Roshni got you anywhere on your person?
Yes, it is strapped to their waist. Actually, it's in like a sexy thigh holster.
Of course
obviously.
it is.
I'm here
Roshni will then point to the dagger that is on Alecto's thigh. Who do you think made that?
I was hoping that was more of a business transaction than a friendship come to pass.
Why can't it be both?
Ishmael, was there anything else? Any other information?
Yes. I actually met up with Roshni at one point as we spoke about Kiran for a moment. And that conversation was actually quite helpful. It made me consider a little bit more carefully about their relationships, specifically their father. And how it seemed that their description described a fairly uptight fellow. And considering the manner in which they were taken and the violence that has been occurring, I went to a contact of mine to see if they remembered anything from, and he speaks in a hushed voice, the war. Memory before that. There are a few organizations that were active before the war. There are many to name. I'll list them, but I will let you know which ones I would like to focus on. There's the Kalmara Sodality. They seem to be some sort of a group that have a love for the finer arts, want to destroy things they don't seem to consider as worthy or of in that regard, I suppose. This doesn't seem to be that kind of issue. I don't think it's a matter of art. I think this is a matter of power.
We need to stay away from them.
Noted. Do you think they might be involved in this or no?
I don't know.
And Ishmael, you see him like as he's holding this book open in front of him like this, and the paper that he has to the page keeps it on. The second I would like to mention is an individual named King 9, ex-Goetic. Contact described them as throwing a tantrum during this point, but it's an individual. I think this is bigger than this. So I'm not sure. I don't know enough. The next group is the third hand. My contact does not know very much about the organization, except that they are interested in obtaining objects of power, artifacts of the legacy. That's about it. Oh, there's another bullet point there that I did not notice.
There's two more.
There's two more, yeah. I didn't see that one just before the last. With the recent demonic entity that seems to be permeating our events, my contact is it's not out of the question that the Vespertine may be involved. But the problem with their potential involvement is we don't have a motive for why they would be. And the last one is the Revelation. They're a criminal organization with a vast network, and they were very active before the war. They were moving a lot, taking territory, and Ishmael's eyes linger on Roshni.
They're
And
still
they had
quite
many
active
scraps.
now.
Are they?
Yes, there's been some conflict in the Hollows. I've gotten a lot of people through the house recently.
And they named them this Revelation.
The visitors did not. However, there's another woman in the Hollows who runs a similar shelter. And
I see.
she told me that the Revelation have been active and that there have been a lot of injured people.
The Revelation have been active because of other people trying to move into the Hollows.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then I would also provide that
see.
information.
That is the incredible amount of information that my contact provided. Again, it provides some guidelines, but no specific direction. I am not entirely... I don't know very much about King 9. They might be involved with this, but this feels bigger than just a person, a gangster. I don't know. I was hoping that...
Mare.
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, that's fine.
I have a question. Of any of these individuals or groups, since Cursemaker's shop is very often frequented by folks in the underground, are there any people in particular from any of these organizations that Cursemaker would know about or have paid particular attention to that buy things fairly regularly from their shop?
Unlikely. The only one that you might have, a lot of these people will not tell you face to face, hey, I'm part of this group, except for maybe the Revelation.
And question, since we are doing things, I totally didn't think about this during our week of off time, but if there are issues in the Hollow, would the newspaper by any chance send Lillian to take photos
Too
for
dangerous.
a story?
Too
Too dangerous? Okay.
Yeah.
Worth a shot.
Like, if you wanted to go on your own, you were welcome to, but they would not have sent you. Unless it was on the day the shop was named Point Encounter, because your newspaper changes names. Unless it was on Point Encounter, which it hasn't been in the last couple days since you've met and the Hollows stuff started up, they would not have actually sent you.
That's a lot of leads.
It is. I did want to take this moment to ask. I know this is off topic on the conversation of organizations, but it is more pertaining to the hand armor. Perhaps you both are makers. You understand the magics, the talent, the skill that requires to craft such objects. Objects that arrive in a set. The piece that was stolen was put in an art gallery. Is someone like Anya really someone that would craft a weapon? A set?
Is this the first weapon I've ever heard of Anya making?
She's made other weapons,
Okay.
and you do have I don't know if you remember, but you did get a little bit of more information on how it ended up in the art gallery, so I don't know if that's something you wanted to mention.
No, I'm going to stick to specifically the topic of Anya.
Sure, no problem. She's made, like, physical weapons, like, knives and stuff, and swords, but nothing that is that you know of that is a weapon that doesn't look like an obvious one.
And also, just out of character, last episode I did mention who donated the hand armor.
Yes, Elias.
To the art gallery.
Yes.
Just in case we forgot about that, because I can't find it in my notes right now.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of information running around, and I know sometimes I have a shit memory, so if I if I say something, don't mind me.
Yes, that's what I was trying to remember.
I don't know.
Alecto makes a face when Ishmael makes a suggestion about, I think, the ability to make weapons. And their teacup kind of like clicks back into the like porcelain tape plate. That's what it's called. The plate clicks back and they go, I am not a maker anymore, Ishmael.
Forgive me.
We can learn more about the hand armor if we go to Teth. And while we may have a lot of leads, we also have something that Kieran went through a lot of trouble to steal the first time. And as you said, they are a matching set. Which means that if Kieran wanted one, it's very likely that they want the other.
At that, Roshni kind of pipes up and just mentions, Kieran may have stolen it, but I don't know that they wanted it. Remember, Taryn said that Kieran lost it on purpose.
I think perhaps they lost it on purpose for safekeeping so they could come retrieve it when they needed it again.
I'm not so sure that Taryn would be the person they would go to if they wanted something like that.
Pardon me, Cursemaker, you, that aside, sensing the tension, you think that they would come back for this?
I think it's possible. If we can't find them, perhaps they can find us.
I think I quite like this. It's maybe a good opportunity to narrow things down, though I would like to narrow things down into a certainty. And there, I would like to use my ephemera, the Panasophic head.
Can you quickly throw that into so I can read it and also tell everyone what it does?
Give me a second. Where do you want me to pass it to you?
DMs.
DMs.
So I can read it. Or it doesn't really matter. Everyone's going to know what it is anyway, so wherever.
Yeah, I'm sending it to you right now. Sorry. I have too many windows up.
Hey, so do I. It's fine. I get it.
Oh my goodness. Why won't you do the
what was
wonderful
it called?
pasting?
How do you spell it?
The Pansophic head. So Pansophic.
Okay, it's an ephemera object, an icon of a stylized male head. If you ask the icon a single question, If the knowledge is level 5 or less, you gain a short answer. So while I look up something, do you want to tell everyone how you use this?
Is it literally an object, or can I kind of like
It's an
flavor it
object.
however
It's
I
an
want?
actual object. Yes.
Cool. From Ishmael's side, in one of his bags, he kind of like pulls out this little bust of a stylized male head. He's got this like really measured manicured beard, really like Greek. I'm like imagining like Greek stylized sort of bust over here with a sharp large nose and a sharp pair of eyes. And you see Ishmael kind of hold this head up like this as he's tilting his head to look at it, and will ask, will Kiran come for this hand armor?
Oh. Let me read that again. It is the knowledge is level 5 or less, you gain a short answer.
That's why I'm making it a yes and no.
Yeah.
I thought about it all week.
Yeah. So the question is it level 5 or less? Level 5 is something that is rarely known information. Only a handful of people, if that, know the information, though no one's really trying to keep it a secret. The ephemera object opens its mouth and speaks a single word. Yes. And as this item, this head speaks. Oh, that's way too dark. That is way too dark of a song. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to do something to the head that was way too dark.
No.
I was like, oh,
sorry.
I was here for it. I'm like, what's she gonna do?
The music change was way too dark. I think I'm just gonna change back to my other song. But as the head speaks and it gives you its answer, the door to Alecto's shop opens. It does not ring with the ding 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 of the outside door of repeat customers and friends who know where you live. This is coming from Rafi's side. And inside and through this door, you can see a figure enter. And beyond, you see the wardrobe where the entrance is, a couple sparse cloaks being hung. And Rafi, the tigerless stripes, large and lounging on his desk. A tigerless stripes is as if you took away everything from a tiger except the stripes, the eyes, the teeth, and the claws. You can see part of the desk beneath him as he lazily looks through the door at you and just kind of gives you a small little nod, Alecto, as a customer enters.
We're closed.
The customer that enters is not super tall, probably just a little shorter than Roshni, scraggly brown hair, white man with a turtleneck and wearing a jacket. He has glasses and looks kind of bookish. Alecto, this is the person you saw at the Blue Royal the other day, and someone who used to work under your mentor for like 2 weeks before he quit the Makers. Oliver Burns. Eleanor, you know Oliver Burns very well, though you have never spoken 2 words to each other.
Yes.
He is the reason why he quit the Makers. You are the reason why he will never write again. You are the reason why he lost all drive to create and will never bring anything new into this world again. It's your fault. And he enters. I'm sorry, Rafi let me in.
I said we're closed.
A curse? Oh. Then... Sorry.
One moment, please. And Alecto like stands up from the gathering of Vizsla here, and all 6'8" of them like hard approaches Oliver Burns, you know, like direct like a fucking shark.
He actually kind of takes a step back as you approach.
As soon as Cursemaker stands up and begins to walk and begins to command all of his section, I walk out.
Like out of the shop?
Yeah, I'm gone.
Okay. Out of which door?
Whatever door's closest.
Yeah.
That isn't in the direction of Oliver.
The ding 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 door outside.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll come back another day then.
No, you've already distracted us enough. What do you want?
I was looking for a curse to buy. Nothing too drastic. Just something that
I don't
was
have to know what
annoyance.
it's for. I just need to know what you want.
Something that'd be really annoying but not harmful.
This way. And Alecto leads them like down one of the. I actually have quite a few.
You have so many.
Let's see. There's a pair of keys. There is a worm in like a terrarium. Like in this section of shelves. There is also a satchel of chalk dust, a red handkerchief, knitting needles, and rock salt. Take your pick.
What's the most annoying that doesn't do damage? I'll take that one.
Do you want this to be a long-term annoyance?
No, just a short term. Anything to get my fucking neighbor to shut up at 2 a.m.
Well, they'll be pretty quiet if they can't get in their house. And Alecto hands them a pair of keys. Like the pair of keys.
Okay, and what does this do?
It'll take their keys, add it to its key ring, and then it'll lose itself. Frequently.
He kind of chuckles at that. Sounds good. How much do I owe you?
How much wood?
We'll just say this is going to be part of added to your like general income anyway. So however much it is, he gives it to you.
Okay. It's something like 30 crystal.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry for interrupting. And he kind of nods his head and walks out the... Do you have a preference which door I leave out of? Is that another door like...
And Alecto noticed that Eleanor left. Go at the front, please.
And he will open up the door that leads back into Rafi's shop and leave. Eleanor, where do you go?
I have walked into like the nearest like alley or just like sort of side street, like just sort of place, so any sort of place that's like relatively out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And from my things, I produce a small hand mirror, and I am just staring at it.
Do any of you follow Eleanor? Or what do you do after Eleanor's departure and Oliver Burns's?
I feel like Ishmael's really confused at what just happened and what just transpired.
Fair.
So in his mind, like perhaps Eleanor went out to think or has thought of something and kind of notices that Alecto's busy and kind of goes, looks at the other two and goes, I'm just gonna go make, yes, yeah. And we'll kind of like slowly walk out just to see if we can figure out what's up.
Are you easy to find, Eleanor?
Not really, no, to be honest.
You don't see Eleanor anywhere, but anywhere within direct eyesight. And Roshni and Lillian.
While everyone's distracted and busy, Lillian would be like, "Oh, Roshni, do you remember about a couple weeks ago, Ilford?"
I'm sorry, who?
Ilford, the photograph. You came in to confirm that the photographs were talking to me.
Have they been talking to you too? The strangest thing happened to me earlier.
What do you mean you too? You were there with me when I brought you in. Ilford
Lillian.
spoke to you.
Lillian, darling, I would remember if something that bizarre happened before. I wasn't there. Are you sure this wasn't a dream?
Oh,
May- maybe it maybe it didn't happen. I could have sworn. Never mind. Never mind. I just could have sworn that happened. But if it didn't, that's another problem.
Lillian, wait, but you mentioned photographs talking to you. Has a photograph talked to you other than this particular event that you're...
I mean, twice Ilford has spoken to me through the photographs that I've taken.
Who is this Ilford? How did they introduce themselves to you?
Again, I could have sworn you were. They asked for help. They wanted to see things, and they. I could have. Have you talked to any others then?
Only one. It was the strangest thing. I've never had a client come to me through a photograph before. And I was alone, looking at some of the pictures that you gave to me, and one of them spoke to me.
Was it a particular one? Maybe it was the same one that spoke with me.
No, it didn't introduce itself as Ilford, so...
Did it introduce itself?
It did. I think it said Shutter was its name.
Interesting. But you don't remember when we talked to photos together?
Lillian, darling, I really don't. Is this maybe... You've been having trouble remembering things from your past, right?
Yes, that's very true.
There's clearly something going on. I think someone or something is affecting your memory in some way, and maybe transplanting memories that didn't happen?
That's a very good point. Maybe this is...
see about that.
Thank you, Roshni.
Lillian,
I don't know what I would do without you. Thank you so much.
we will make sure that we ask somebody about this, okay? As soon as we figure out this business with Kiran, we will...
Yes, that'll be first. That's first. That's more important. Should we go check on Eleanor?
I think Ishmael has it, actually, but you're welcome to go if you'd like.
No, it's fine. A muffin?
I would love one.
Eleanor, how long do you stay in the alley?
Gosh, it's hard to say because like the translation between like RPG time and like us real life time.
Give me RPG time.
But like honestly a good 10 minutes.
Yeah. In that
At
case,
least, yeah.
in that case, you would be around long enough. You'd still be in the alleyway for Oliver and Alecto to have finished their transaction.
Yes.
And
Yeah, that for sure.
Walk by. He seems to have his gaze on the ground, hands pockets, and you see him walk by the alleyway.
Yeah.
Do you do anything or head back at any point?
Nope.
Oh, so you're just chilling there.
Yep.
How long does everyone else wait till they go find Eleanor, actually search?
I think after 5 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes, I think you'd probably wait an extra minute. Just be like, oh, okay, this is not just I'm pacing around outside because there's too many things happening inside. And goes back inside to see Lillian, Roshni, maybe if Alecto's finished their transaction.
I'd say that when you go back in, Oliver is walking out. He gives you a nod on his way out.
Okay. I can't see Eleanor in the immediate vicinity. Shall we go look for her? I'm merely asking this because I want to. But I wanted to make sure everyone else is on the same page with me.
Where did she go?
I don't even know why she stepped out in the first place. She didn't say a word.
What kind of expression was on your face when you walked out, Eleanor?
I don't really know. I was trying to keep it together, but I don't know how effective that would have been. You want me to roll for it?
Yeah, roll for it.
All right, let's say high, keep it together. Low, not great.
Low, low, low.
Ah, that's a 0. Fuck.
Oh.
Not great.
Eleanor
Visibly
is not...
distraught.
I'm a little worried.
Should we
Fuck,
go
0.
look then? We can go look in different directions.
Perhaps in different directions.
Okay.
Seems to have maybe something to do with that fellow that walked into this shop. Happened at the same time.
You know, it's funny. He was in the Blue Royal too.
When we were there. I
Yes.
suppose a coincidence, maybe.
With how coincidences are working for us lately.
Let's find Eleanor.
Do you split up? Groups of 2? What are we doing?
I think groups of 2.
Everyone scatter.
I will say...
around Alecto's neighborhood, perhaps not.
Yeah. So what I'll say is, Eleanor, since it didn't sound like you went too far, it's just going to be a matter of who finds you first, if that's
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
What are the 2 groups?
100%.
I think Ishmael would
Alecto and
pick
Roshni.
I was just gonna say,
exactly. Ishmael
Yes.
sees this, gestures to the both of them, and goes, nothing to do with me. And kind of goes, looks at Lillian, takes whatever last pastry is left, breaks it in half, hands her one half, and goes, for the walk.
Yes. Yes, let's go. Yes, us.
So the odds will be the lovely sibling-like duo, and then the evens will be the mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling my die.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was cocked. Fuck. Evens. The mess finds you, Eleanor, first.
Oh, no!
Sorry, I tried.
It was a 16.
Oh, no!
So I think, Alecto, you see Eleanor first because this is your neighborhood. You kind of know the ins and outs of it and the nooks and crannies. And yeah, you see Eleanor gazing into a small hand mirror, visibly distraught.
I will also say that Alecto is probably one of the few people who might know or have put together at some point. Eleanor is not a fan of mirrors.
I think when Alecto finally spots Eleanor, they had put their mask back on as soon as, right before they walked out of their shop. And they look down at Roshni. We watch the alley, little rabbit.
I will. Be careful with her, by the way.
What makes you say that? I'm very careful.
I know.
And Alecto moves very quietly down the rest of the alley and pauses behind. Is Eleanor facing like deeper into the alley, or is Eleanor facing Alecto as they approach?
I'm like perpendicular to the wall. So if you're walking up, you'll be like 90 degrees.
And Alecto, I think, leans against the opposite wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of behind the mirror, just so that they would be in Eleanor's line of sight.
I take one last look at the vile, disgusting thing that is looking back at me in the mirror. And I put it away.
Eleanor, Would you like me to walk you home? Or would you like to come back into the shop?
Don't bother. I was on my way out.
Did you say on your way home or on
On
the
my way
in?
out.
What are you doing?
Nothing important.
Do you know how many times I thought what I was doing was not important? Come. Let's go back inside.
I'm going to look like up at the curse maker. It was my fault. Don't you understand? It was all my fault. He used to be one of us. I made him leave. It's all my fault.
Eleanor. And the curse maker moves like low and uncharacteristic of all of their mannerisms would go to like cup both of your cheeks in their hands. Eleanor, if there's anyone under these fucking suns who knows what it's like to take someone out of beauty, then I do. I don't know what happened. I don't know what you think you did wrong, Eleanor. But it cannot define you like this.
It already has.
Then that makes two of us. I'm not a maker either anymore, Eleanor. But I'm still here. He's still here. Anya's not. So come back into the shop, please, because I can't stand to think about you not being there either.
All right.
And the curse maker kind of unclips their cloak and rests it over Eleanor's shoulders and like wraps one like big arm around her and starts walking her very slowly out of the alley. Come on, little rabbit, will you get the door for us, please?
As we're walking back, Roshni would touch the cloak, not in a way to touch Eleanor, like being very careful to just sort of catch the cloak without touching Eleanor, and is going to heat it up just slightly enough so that it's kind of like a nice warm hug on Eleanor.
Eventually, Lillian and Ishmael, you would see Eleanor, Roshni, and Alecto with all three of them in tow, with Eleanor looking extremely distraught, wearing Alecto's cloak, heading back to the shop.
Ishmael kind of just silently looks at Lillian and just kind of like does a couple steps back just to allow them that space to go in first. And then
There's a moment where Lillian goes and pulls up the camera to take a picture of this and realizes it's not that kind of moment, and she should not do that.
Yeah, Roshni's just gonna hold the door open for everybody and let everybody file in.
Once everyone is inside, she does take a picture of Roshni holding the door open for someone, just because that's not normal.
Ding,
Valid.
ding, ding. As the door opens.
Okay. Okay.
Hi. So you found Eleanor. That's good. That's good. Should we continue our talk? And she's gonna
I think
kind of go to like tap Eleanor, but like then reach back.
I think so. I will let Rafi know that I'm not taking visitors in the morning anymore. If what your head says is true, Ishmael, then Kieran will come for this. And we should be ready. Which means I think that we will be seeing a lot more of each other. And Cursemaker's eyes kind of like pan around to everyone in the circle.
I always delight in your company, honored Cursemaker.
Likewise.
So what? We advertise to all of Fartown that we have a deadly weapon among us? That doesn't seem wise.
I don't think we'll need to do the advertising.
Just the amount of people who saw us go in and out of the Blue Royal yesterday, I'm sure the news would have gotten around already, especially of the Cursemaker's game.
And if anyone is hunting these things down, I'm sure they know how to find them.
And Kieran has been in my shop before.
They certainly
As-
have.
I remember. They'll know how to
So-
get here.
Should you be here alone then? Should someone stay here with you? And Lillian gives a look to Roshni.
Ishmael's
Just
looking at
for
Alecto.
safety. I legitimately just for safety. I don't think anyone should be alone if you are the target of somebody.
As much as I like my free time, I don't think me being alone will serve our operation very well. I'm happy to be in a rotation of company with all of you as the days go on.
Oh, sorry, I was.
And perhaps I might add that this is not exactly the location that I would like to partake in a battle with if it comes down to it. There are a lot of objects in here that can be used against me or against all of you. Perhaps it would be better suited if we set up somewhere else.
Well, you're welcome to stay at my home. Roshni already has a room. We can get a room set up for you as well. Val and I have been doing a lot of research there anyway. I mean, that's just an offer. If there's anywhere else you would like to go, that is also acceptable.
I would like to propose that we go to the Blue Royal. That way, if anything gets destroyed, it's the casino.
Are you sure you don't want to just play more games?
I can do that anywhere. It seems you have a propensity for the spiders game.
Perhaps we should play a match sometime.
Perhaps we should.
Perhaps we should stay moving. Not make it too
Agree.
easy. Would Kieran still want to come get this if we stayed in your home, Ishmael?
I think Ishmael takes a long moment to think. I don't know. But strategically, and you see like his face change from kind of like a confusion to straight to just thinking really objectively. They know my house inside out. Why wouldn't they?
Perhaps we can take cues from Roshni. Move around a bit.
You're always
And not
welcome
be
in my house.
alone. Thank you. I'll need to come back and tend the shop, but I agree. I don't get the feeling that any of us should be alone for very much time.
All right.
Is there anything else the group of you would like to discuss before we go to break?
I think the only thing is Roshni hearing this conversation, like, has just been sitting on the workbench, just kind of like nodding. We should be prepared for the possibility that Kieran is not working alone as well. You never know. One person, one non-Vizsla, and they look over at Ishmael when they say that. One non-Vizsla doing all of this by themselves, it seems a little far-fetched, don't you think?
GM, I would like to clarify something.
Yes.
I would know that they are indeed Vizsla, right?
Yes, you would know that Kieran is a Vizsla.
Ishmael would then correct Roshni. No, they are a Vizsla.
A Vizsla with no order.
They are
No
an
magical
apostate, yes.
ability?
None that they've shown me was what I said, yes.
None that they showed you. I wonder why that is.
It's like, wow, it's like there's more to being a Vizsla than doing magic.
Sometimes there's more to do in company of those dear than magical abilities.
Magical abilities can make those activities more interesting, Ishmael. You should try it sometime.
I mean, but I'm too busy gambling at the Blue Royal.
You should stop.
Okay. Is everyone good to go to break? Okay, everybody, we'll be back in like 5 to 10 minutes, so please stretch, hydrate, pet your pets, and we'll be back soon. Bye! Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We have a new player. This is Count Scrapula. He will be taking Eleanor's place today. We come back after break, after having a lovely, lovely group conversation and learning some lovely, juicy lore about a couple of our characters. We come back, though, to a very special ceremony because our two goetics are advancing in degree today, going from the first degree to the second degree. The Goetic Hall of Records, where you are all meeting for your ceremony, is this large, several buildings, all with inscribings and engravings of angels, demons, and other creatures everywhere. And this is in there is a clock tower, and on one of the upper floors where there is a ceremony room is where you will be having your advancement ceremony. Before I continue even more, I forgot to say the Sooth card, and also, Alex, I saw your message. Do you actually want to play Emma?
Oh, I just wanted her to be there. I'll totally fucking play her.
You want to head off this advancement ceremony as Emma?
Oh gosh, I'm not prepared to head off a ceremony.
That's fine. You can say a couple words and be done with it. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to read the card, which is everyone's favorite hot man, the Revolutionary. Value of 9, Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flames, meaning lust, sexuality, change, and destruction. This is the sovereign card, so we don't have any gallants in the party, but everyone gets a +1 to their ventures. I have to look up. God damn it. The group of you, the two of you, it's a small ceremony, only you and a couple other people, where it is a very, very long, ritualistic type thing, because the Goetics are very, what's the best word to put it, ceremonial. Like, they're pomp and circumstance, and you probably have some fancy ass, boring as hell robes that you are dressed in to do this ceremony. There are only a handful of other Goetics there to do the ceremony with you, one of which is a young woman with dark black hair, curly, with the bitchiest scowl on her face, and another woman dressed fancy, with a birdcage on her wrist, who also looks like she is better than you because she is. You would note these two Goetics as Soraya and Emma Elizabeth Mara, who I think you're all surprised they're actually heading off the ceremony because they're both bitches. They are not nice. But they are both here to head you off and advance you onto the second degree. The second degree is a long thing, basically a lot of talking and prepping of a ritual. And when I'm saying it's like 1 hour prep, 5 hours, 5 hours prep, 1 hour of ceremony. And at the end, the two of you, everyone in the room knows your secret soul, which I'm not going to ask you to say on air, but this is a normal thing. Did you want to say anything, Alex, as Emma? For reference, this is Alex's old character.
Yes, Emma was my first Invisible Sun character. I don't have anything to say as far as the ceremony, but specifically when it comes to the fact where, we talk about how these characters need to reveal their secret soul. Now, I know a lot of people get really hung up on the fact that they have to reveal their soul name in the ceremony. Trust me, that information is nowhere near important enough for it to be particularly remembered by myself or Soraya. So you are free to speak it, and I assure you it will be forgotten most likely within the hour.
That's probably why they were asked to do this, because they don't give a fuck. And at the end of your ceremony, you will call out to a familiar that you will receive as part of a guidance and as a counselor, and basically assist you and be your right-hand entity. What do the two of you do, and how do you reach out to this being? It's similar to a regular colloquy when you do a summoning, but they stay here longer and not as powerful as a normal entity that you work with. And it is a mutual agreement pact. What do the two of you do to bring this creature forward?
I think Ishmael, just in the spirit of how formalistic everything is, just kind of goes, all right, inspiring speech. Sits down, preps, and begins the colloquy, and as he focuses on reaching out to this entity before him, a single moment in time for him flashes in his inner mind. A dark, foggy night. Screaming, arguing, falling as his vision blurs, and that just replays over and over in his head as he reaches out to whatever is on the other side, as this image plays over and over again as shadows make their distance further away from his vision.
And what is pulled from a realm that is not indigo, a realm that is ever changing and moving and forever in motion, like the size of a quarter, this little hole appears, and slowly pulling itself through is 1 leg, 2 legs, 3, all the way up to 8 before a large bulbous thing squeezes through, and what pops out is what looks like an octopus with metal skin and great moth-like wings of gold and black. and it just kind of flies over to you and wraps several of its tentacles around your shoulder and just kind of perches.
I think Ishmael smiles. Loves the color coordination.
Listen, I really
Appreciative.
wanted the snart. I wanted the snart.
I know.
So bad, so
everyone
it's fine.
did. Everyone wanted the snart. I know.
For reference, a snart is a weasel-like thing with a head at both ends, always in constant motion, and if it stops, it dies. But in a more serious note, you would know enough of lower-level creatures to recognize a entity or creature called a Forgiver of Fault.
I think Ishmael just chuckles very quietly to himself. Oh, of course. Okay.
I look
I
forward
don't
to
have-
working with you.
And I do.
You can call me Miss Deed.
Miss Deed. Tis a pleasure to meet you, Miss Deed. I do not know if I have the capacity to introspect on how this partnership came about, but I'm grateful for your assistance.
And Lillian.
Lillian would have been the last to go. Still kind of confused. Is only there because Ishmael has encouraged this. Like, you're part of this. Let's do this. So she's sitting there. It's her turn, and she's trying to remember anything. Any reason why something should come out. Any reason a familiar should choose her. And all she can think about and all she can remember is shattering. And glass breaking and everything around her falling to pieces. And I think that's when it comes. Just something pushes through the broken glass and opens it up into back to the real world where she's supposed to be.
When you reach out to familiar, it isn't as a dramatic of an entrance as Ishmael's slowly making its way through a very tiny hole between the suns. You don't notice it right away, Lillian, but from an outside perspective, Ishmael, you see smoke coalesce and form at Lillian's side, solidifying, where a large Doberman-like creature presses up against your leg. Comfortingly. A warm, familiar presence.
Lillian doesn't even notice. She just reaches down and pets the dog as if it was always supposed to be there.
It doesn't say anything, but it doesn't need to. But you do get a little thought in the back of your mind, introducing itself as Umbra. And that it missed you.
Without realizing it, it's good to see you again, is what's replied back.
And with that, your advancement onto the second degree is complete. I believe someone else has a couple words left before we end the scene.
Now, for all the trouble I gave you about your secret soul names. The Order of Goetics offers a long road ahead of the both of you, but there's a reason that you both made it this far. Do us proud. And should you find yourself in need of a ritual, come find me. I'd love to work with you. And then from from behind Emma, this small little cat, this like mangy, like just gross looking white cat that looks like it's been left out in the rain for like 3 weeks comes slinking on out from behind her. And treat your companions well. We talk to each other, you know. That's enough from you, Mr. Faust. And they walk away.
As does Soraya, who was just bored sitting in the corner reading a book this entire fucking time. Ishmael, you would recognize this Goetic as the worker, quote unquote, who she just reads all the time in Meryl's shop. Is there anything you would like to say before we go to the next scene to each other as these two assholes walk away?
Congratulations, Ishmael.
Congratulations to you too. This hello. Very very familiar I'm seeing by your side.
It feels right though.
It certainly does.
And it's
I assume-
lovely to meet.
Misdeed.
Misdeed actually
Misdeed.
holds out one tentacle for you.
I
Lillian.
shake it properly.
The suckers stick for a minute.
So Just
This is my
question.
companion Lillian.
out of
Yeah,
character,
sure.
do the companions speak out loud to everyone then?
I'm gonna
Everyone
be
can talk to
playing
them.
it as I can do it both ways. Whatever suits my fancy at the moment.
Okay, just double checking.
But how do you feel now that you've this is a big deal. I know the pomp and fancies a lot, but
I enjoyed it, actually.
I'm glad to hear that.
Something about it was familiar,
That's good. That's good.
but it's interesting. This is Umbra, by the way.
A pleasure to meet you, Umbra. Kind of gives a smile.
Protective stare. It says nothing.
That is fair enough.
I am interested to see what they teach us.
You see Ishmael make a really wry smile. And goes, well, that is something I'm indeed looking forward to. A clear lie. And instead is looking at you and is like, celebrations.
Yes.
Baba's dumplings. My treat.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. Should we? Would it be weird to call the others? This isn't necessarily related to everything, but we have been spending a lot of time with them, and it would seem nice to celebrate something other than worry.
We can call our friends, certainly. That is something you'd like.
Let's do that.
All right. Well, I'm sure the honored curse maker would enjoy some dumplings. It's still my treat. Let's treat everybody.
Oh, well, I didn't mean you needed to do that, but
No,
that's very kind of you.
I want to. You're right. It'd be nice to have more things binding us all together than just...
Tragedy?
I did not want to say that. Hopefully it doesn't remain so.
Well, this is a good start.
Mhm.
Yeah, then I guess how do we, I forgot we don't have cell phones in this world.
We don't.
It's okay. I don't know where Roshni is, but I feel like Eleanor and Alecto are like easily findable comparatively. But
Alecto does live literally right next
Yeah.
to Baba's
Yeah.
dumplings.
Yeah.
In fact.
Oh, and you're no longer supposed to be alone, so who is with you?
I'll just say
I
I'm
don't-
there.
Always.
That's where I am today.
Yes, that's just what I wanted. That's all I wanted.
so take a pit stop at the house without a key, and then head over to the curse maker's shop, and then you have dumpling. That's fine. It's great.
We have dumplings.
Yeah.
We do something nice together. And I
He's-
introduce everyone to Umbra.
Protective stare at all of you. Says nothing. But you all eat, drink, and be merry, and get dumplings. In the upcoming days, I know we wanted to go visit Teth. I know Roshni wanted to go. I know Eleanor and Alecto had interest to go. What about Ishmael and Lillian in this regard?
If I'm allowed to, I would.
It's a public store. You would just general talking. You would, I think the word would go around at some point. The general information is that Teth is a 4th degree maker, and she owns a weapons shop called Tooth and Nail in Fartown.
Lillian would go too.
Okay, then I will leave this starting scene up to y'all on how we want to approach this.
I think Roshni had mentioned that they wanted to go like early, like that day. So maybe it's just like following our group talk.
Yeah, we're doing some timey-wimey stuff. It's fine.
Oh yeah, sure.
We're doing timey-wimey stuff. It's fine. Fun vignettes. Yeah. We can bounce around.
Mm-hmm.
For sake of simplicity, we could still say your 2nd degree. And if you want your familiars with you, you may.
See, that happened in the afternoon. Now we're going early afternoon to do this stuff. So it's just fine. A very long day.
It's a very long day.
Is it maybe the kind of thing where we all start walking and then it's like, oh, we're all walking to the same place?
Awkward.
I think because Cursemaker and Eleanor had mentioned that they were also going to go, I think it would have been a case of like, Roshni pushes themselves off of the workbench. He's like, okay, I suppose since we're all going to the same place, why don't we walk on over together?
Okay. I need you to hold this. And Alecto gives Roshni back the dagger.
Oh.
Just for now, please.
Is there reason?
Yes.
And that would be...
I think the shop is getting warm. We should go now before it gets too warm.
Roshni, like, looks at Cursemaker, narrows their eyes a bit, but just puts the dagger away silently into their satchel and follows. Lillian, Ishmael, I suppose we will meet again later.
We can come with, just in case.
Great. I guess it'll be a party then.
Would you prefer us not come?
No, Lillian, it's okay.
I think Ishmael's looking more at the Cursemaker for permission, rather than Roshni.
Just please watch your heads. And Alecto leaves their shop.
Ishmael just comfortingly pets Miss Teed. And just goes, why don't you hang around my lower rib for now?
I can just... And they kind of like pop out of existence for a bit. You know, like they can be intangible and still be around. So
okay, cool.
Umbra doesn't leave my side.
No, absolutely not. Umbra does not leave your side whatsoever. Fuck that shit. Okay. Before I forget, on the Blue Sun, I've pulled the Imperator. Value 9, Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water, Wisdom, and War, Turning Points, Deciding Factors. Empaths get a +2 to their ventures. Everyone else gets a +1. So
ooh, that's me.
That is...
one thing
yes, go ahead.
can I do on the way?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to use my Forte ability, Persuasion, on my way there.
Okay, and I think that just gives you a boost of extra Benny?
Yes, that gives me 3 extra Benny to my interaction pool.
Perfect.
Just a small detail as well. Roshni, as we're walking, and like as we're getting closer to Teth's shop, they pull out an orange from their satchel and they peel it, and then they start just like popping slices into their mouth.
sorry, one more thing. Right outside of the shop, thank you for this reminder that we have spells that we can use. Alecto is going to cast Myrmidon's Strength right outside of Teth's shop. So I think magic kind of like hovers over them.
And what does that do?
And we'll wait to see.
Or can
I
DM you,
have a great.
if you
Yeah,
want?
sure, I'll DM you.
I think I know which one it is. I think I vaguely know which one it is. But just in case. As the five of you begin making your way towards Teth's shop, the cool breeze of autumn whispers through the air. At some point, a couple clouds pass immediately overhead, like 2 feet above Alecto's head, raining a soft, quiet melody as they continue by and drifting. And you eventually make it to Teth's shop. Teth's shop is called Tooth and Nail. It has 2 very large windows out the front and a door that also has like a glass window. You see many wares displayed in it, and through these windows you can also see the inside as well. There are mostly weapons in the front on stands or hanging on walls. Some are actually, from what you can see, chained to a wall. Like they are actually like put in place there. There are very few blank spaces. There's a couple other wares like armor, like standing up on mannequins, but it's mostly weapons. You don't see from inside the window, Teth.
I think Alecto is paused outside of the shop and looks at Eleanor and goes, "Did you mention that you don't have a good working relationship with Teth?"
That was not strictly true. I was trying to draw attention to myself and not to you. But it was something that was worth considering. That's why I said we should talk about this alone, but here we are.
Here we are. I think it's maybe better to just rip it off now.
Yeah.
Maybe you could go in first, though.
Yeah, they'll be fine with seeing me.
Okay.
While this is happening, Roshni has already walked inside, just so y'all know. They're not waiting.
Who else is going inside?
After having that quick conversation with CM, I'll head inside.
Ishmael and Lillian.
Waiting for the makers to go inside.
So are you waiting for Alecto to go in?
Yes.
I'm
Watch
waiting
your
for Ishmael
heads,
to go
absolutely.
inside.
I'm hiding behind my big, strong 6'8" friend.
Well, in that case, if you're gonna be waiting for Alecto, well. But Roshni, go ahead.
I think you should go in before me.
You're muted.
I think Ishmael's like, okay. And then kind of like looks at Lillian and then strides on forward.
Are you? I'll wait out here with Alecto. They shouldn't be. We shouldn't leave anyone alone.
I was gonna
at
say,
this
do
moment.
you know Alecto's name yet?
Nope. I will be out here with the curse maker. They shouldn't be alone at the moment.
In that case, Roshni, Eleanor, and Ishmael, you walk into this shop, which even for you, Roshni, is much warmer than normal. None of you take damage for it, but there is a large counter over that takes up most of the back wall, and there is another door. And from behind that door, you can feel a great heat coming from it and an orange glow at the borders. And a voice that says, "I will be out in just a minute." Are you doing that?
Roshni's gonna just take a look around the store. What does it look like? What does Teth have on display? What does their counter look like?
Oh god, the counter's clean, but most of everything is on the walls. A lot of things, from daggers to swords to glaives, spears, hammers. There is a chained whip at a spiked whip at some point.
Doors in the shop that lead elsewhere? Stairs going upstairs?
just the one door in the back and the entrance.
Are there any pistols?
Yes, there are also guns.
Let's take a quick look at those.
Yeah, they look. So there's a couple simple ones, and then there's ones more elegant that are engraved handles, and a couple shotguns.
Is the way behind the counter kind of open, or is it one of those like scenarios where it's locked and like?
That's where you heard the voice coming from.
Okay.
And after a couple minutes, some shuffling around, the door opens, and from beyond you can see a workroom. It looks kind of like a forge, and it looks like the heat source she is using is lava. And out walks Teth. Teth is a short woman, about 5'3", so around Eleanor's height. Her skin and body seems to be made out of some kind of metal, with gray eyes, and her wire hair is tightly braided off to the side. She has a couple knives and one large sword in her arms, where she promptly dumps them on the counter. Sorry for the wait. And then when her eyes look up, she sees Ishmael, Roshni, and Eleanor. Eleanor, nice to see you again. Thank you so much for the other day.
Of course. Is Teth amenable to hugs?
You wouldn't want to hug her. She looks like her metal body is hot.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You don't want to touch her right now.
Yeah, that was going to be my second question. Is it physically safe to do so? Then yeah, gotcha.
Normally yes, but not when she's just walked out of her forge.
Gotcha, sure thing.
You
that
don't
makes
want to
sense.
touch her. And she inclines her head at you, Roshni. Welcome back.
Glad to be back. Those daggers you made, they are beautiful.
They are a very fine work. And then she nods her head at you, Ishmael. Welcome.
Hello, greetings. My name is Ishmael. It's a pleasure to meet you. You have some stunning work, and as he's looking around, and eyes glaze over the many guns as well, and then smiles at her. Such fine work.
Thank you. Eleanor, it's always lovely to see you, but is there anything I can help you with today? Eleanor, are you looking for anything specific, or is this a social visit?
More of a social visit, I'm afraid.
Not that I'm complaining. You're always lovely to talk to.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
This is an Alex question. Can someone quickly give me a refresh on what we're asking Teth about? It's the function of Alecto's hand armor, correct?
And I think we wanted her to also look at it.
Okay.
Which maybe requires getting her out of her shop full of weapons.
Yeah. Right. So the piece that was lost at the gallery.
Her face immediately drops.
Yes, we have a lead on a similar piece. We wanted to know if you had any idea about the capabilities of items like this. We're sort of reaching around in the dark at this point. We don't really know what any of these things do. We know that there's clearly more than one of them, and they have a similar form, but that's really about it.
She swallows a couple times, and everyone can tell she's kind of getting emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Eleanor, I don't know if I'm in the right space right now to talk about any of this.
All right, I understand. I apologize.
I can try, but it's been a while. But I can't promise anything.
I understand. If you'd rather we do this another time, we're more than happy to come back.
No, I just want that son of a bitch who took Anya's thing to... I'd like a word with them.
We're working on it, believe us.
Fucking Elias. Beat his ass. If you didn't think this would help me, this wouldn't have happened in the first place, and... Sorry. That's another day.
It's all good.
Okay. What can I do?
So I said we have a lead on the item. We know who currently owns it.
Cool.
It's Alecto. Because I don't know if this person would know the name Curse Maker. So that is the word I use.
Her face darkens immensely, and a rage is behind her eyes. I really don't want to talk about Alecto.
I understand.
And honestly, if Alecto owns it, I'm gonna beat their ass because you know what they did. If anyone owns that, it shouldn't be them. It was their fault, Eleanor.
That's what I've heard.
They admitted it. To the entire order. Alecto, are you looking inside?
I think maybe outside, if we might, as the waiting is going on.
Like looking through the window?
Alecto is 6'8", and if they're standing right outside, if there are windows,
I described it
they
as
cast a big shadow.
Yeah. But if you are looking inside, you can see the change in demeanor immediately on Death's face.
I get a picture of Alecto looking through the window.
Okay.
Is there flash on that picture?
No, I don't need flash.
Okay.
I think outside. As they're still maybe waiting for Teth to come out, Alecto is kind of just standing there, like very, very, very still, very quietly, like mask down, just completely quiet of mind and body. Rubbing kind of at the tattoos along their knuckles. You can call me Alecto, Lillian. You don't have to call me Curse Maker.
Thank you. That means a lot. I would like to call you whatever makes you the most comfortable.
I feel like perhaps after this visit you won't be giving me much more by way of kindness. So I appreciate it while I still have it.
You have shown me nothing but kindness and done nothing but helped me since I've met you. So whatever you've done in the past is your past. And I hope that one day you can get through that. But that's not my business.
Perhaps it is easier to accept your past if you don't remember it, Lillian.
That I do have that added benefit, don't I? I could have done anything.
And the difference between us is that I did.
Well,
and perhaps you didn't.
Until we know that for sure, I will not pass any judgment on you of that way. I can't.
Then I think we should probably go inside now.
Only if you're ready. And this whole time Lillian's like been fidgeting with the camera and like just taking like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she looks angry. We should go in.
Do you want me to go in first?
No.
Okay.
But wait a minute, because if she throws something sharp, just make sure you don't get hit by it.
I will make sure to hide behind you, yes.
Yeah, okay. And Alecto comes through the door.
Yes. So towards the tail end of the quick conversation with Eleanor, the three of you that are like right near the front of the shop see Teth's hands gripped on her counter, and the wood actually splinters a little bit. And when the single bell of the shop goes ding, her gaze, like her eyes once gray but now like fiery white, lock up and lock eyes with you, Alecto. Get the fuck out of my shop.
Teth.
No, don't Teth me. I want you out of my shop. And I'm
Then
going to
can we
give you
please
to
do
the
this-
count of 10.
Then can we please do this outside?
I'm not going anywhere with you. 1. 2.
Teth. This is about...
3.
It's about her, Teth. Can we please just
6.
talk about it? Teth, I don't want
7.
to do this with you. If we could just make this a little bit easier.
8.
Alecto unsheaths their sword.
Is anyone else doing anything?
Yeah, and that's why, like, I was trying to let Alecto kind of handle this, but it's not working. So I'm gonna sort of like stand between the two of them. Alecto, put that away right now.
What about Ishmael and Roshni?
I think Roshni actually during this whole conversation has made their way to the back and is sitting on the counter that is just directly in front of the door that Teth came out of,
Okay.
the one that led to their forge. And they've been sitting on that counter like eating their orange, and they're just looking on with amusement and curiosity.
Alecto, put it away. Please.
And like, as you drew your sword, Alecto, Teth actually grabs something under the counter and walks from around the counter and is wielding a very large hammer.
Ishmael would kind of like stay a bit of distance, but kind of look at Teth and say, I do not understand the situation, but surely we do not need to resort to violence. This matter is of particular importance, Teth.
Eleanor or Ishmael, would you like to make some kind of persuasion roll?
Yes!
please?
I would.
Yes!
Yes.
I will allow one of you to do it, but get an extra bonus from...
All right.
Oh god, you're both empaths!
We are
Yeah,
both
we are
empaths.
both empaths. How many skills in persuasion do you have, Ishmael?
It's his shadow
I've-
skill.
It is my...
Oh, then you have 2, because I only have 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then you should probably do it.
Cool. So I'm gonna re-ask about rules about rolling. I can add a magic die to this, yes?
If you can explain to me how you're pulling at the raw threads of magic to make it work, yeah.
Cool. I think Ishmael is kind of like reaching out to kind of like tug as he uses his words. He's hoping to tug empathically to the heartstrings of Teth as he's weaving his words in such a way so that they're able to kind of communicate that this is important for him. It is important for them, especially with regards to helping find out what the fuck is going on with this.
I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
That's all I was gonna say.
I don't know quite how this works. Can I donate as well as helping, like giving a point that way? Can I also add a hidden knowledge?
Yes, if you can explain why.
All right. I like to think that my hidden knowledge is in knowing both Alecto and Teth and all of, or maybe not all, but a lot of the background information. Like, I know them personally. I know how to talk to them. I know what they're mad at each other about, and sort of just the personal knowing of these two people.
Sure, you can add +2 from Eleanor, Ishmael.
Okay, cool. And if I'm using things magically, that's sortilege, right?
Yes, so you'll roll 1 magic die and 1 regular die. So you get 2 from Eleanor, you get 2 from the Sooth card, you get 2 from Persuasion. So that's at a +6 to your venture. And are you using any interaction bene? Or
I'm using 1 interaction bene and the 1 sortilege. So
okay, just
yeah.
don't roll 2 zeros, and you got this.
I rolled a 9 and an 8.
Yeah, you succeed. From everyone, like watching this, even you, Lillian, like just outside the shop, there is a huge defeated sigh. Like she just is so exhausted with whatever is plaguing her, and she drops her hammer on the ground. What is it, just so you can get the fuck out of here quickly?
And Alecto shifts their hand to kind of just show the hand armor.
Different one than the ones left in my care. What about it? You shouldn't have that. You don't deserve it.
All we want to know
No.
is what it does.
It'll help us find the other. Please.
Anya never talked about what her commissions did. But I don't know. She doesn't client make her confidentiality.
You were her best friend, Teth, she would have told you.
Even between makers, Alecto, and I think you at this point, Roshni, at this point you've put two and two together.
I put that together when Eleanor said it.
Sorry, I forgot Eleanor said it as well. My bad. Brain fart. What was the last thing you said, C? I'm sorry.
That you were her, Teth was her best friend, and she would have told her.
Even between makers, there's still competition. Not that you would know, since you didn't make it past first degree.
Can you help us identify it?
I can try.
That's all we ask.
Thank you.
Do you know when this was made?
Before the war.
Of course. No shit. Time period? Before the war? Early, late? Because I didn't see these bracelets, finger armors until
And Alecto turns back toward Lillian, who I think is Alecto had drawn their sword, and then and was kind of just blocking your way, and turns to kind of let you in now. When is that photo album dated?
You can give a general. You know the date. I don't have dates. Timey-wimey bullshit, but you can give a general date. Narrative date. Word vomit.
I don't, how does time work in this place? I don't know.
We could just say you give the date, because I don't have a date.
On the back of the photo, it was listed as date.
Wah, 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 wah. Fine. Okay. Give me 5 minutes. Eleanor, please make sure they don't take or touch anything that they shouldn't, especially the things chained to the wall. And she turns tail and walks back into her forge.
I think I should step outside.
It might be better for you to stay since they already know you're here.
I don't know if you vanishing would make them feel any better. I'll be real with you. Ishmael kind of steps closer to Alecto. I'm sorry.
And why? That you've been hanging around a murderer and didn't know about it.
Ishmael cocks his head at you. That is not what I care about. I just wanted to know if you were okay. Then I know the answer is no. Then I know that this is hard. But I'm not here to play judge. What I told you before, Alecto. I did not lie. What I promised you before was not a lie. There are no favors between friends. Neither are there judgments.
There is nothing that Teth can say to me that I have not already said to myself.
He kind of just nods. Gives a very firm nod at Alecto.
And I think they just kind of lean back, against the door, I suppose.
Mare,
Yes.
while the conversation, before Teth went back into the forge,
Yes.
and while that whole conversation was happening, so Roshni was sitting on the counter closest to the forge door, eating their orange. I would have liked to cast Fire Sight at that time into the forge.
Sure. Can you please explain what it does?
Yes, I can see out of any flame within a mile as long as I have a good idea that it's there. I have 360-degree vision, but no other special sight. While the spell functions, the flame appears to have 2 eyes within it, but they are difficult to notice. The spell ends when I wish to see from my normal eyes. It's a level 2 spell.
Sure. And you're doing inside the door.
I'm doing into the forge.
Yeah, that's what I meant, like past the door into the forge. Yes.
Yep.
So, I'll be able to give you some general information, but you will need to roll a little bit to get more. So if you can do that for me, please.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just look to see. All right. So I had the orange. Does this help me at all?
If that's what you want to use it on.
I would like to use it to locate a particular book that I'm looking for.
You may.
Okay, cool. I have identifying. Oh no, never mind. That won't be useful. Okay, I don't think I have
You
any.
would need some kind of.
skills
You
that
can
are
use
useful.
perception.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna use a perception bene. We get +1 from the card, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I have a +2 to this roll. Let's hope it's good. Oh my god, I rolled a 1.
So what you are able.
3 total.
Well, is it a +1 die?
It's not.
Did you
It is
use your
not.
orange?
I did.
Oh my god, you rolled like shit.
Oh, wait, what does the orange do?
I think we
you
decided.
You never told me.
I think we decided it was going to be an advantage type situation.
Okay, in that case, I rolled an 11 total.
So you rolled a 9.
9 + 2, yes.
Yes, you find what you're looking for, but also partially because as you are looking through this door, you see fire, you see smithing equipment, an anvil, a bunch of different tools used to create weapons in this magma, but anything that's not magma is on fire, so there's plenty of flames to look through. And farther back in the forge is also a living quarters. And the reason why you find what you are looking for is because Teth actually comes back while you're looking through your flame, rummages through some drawers before grabbing a small book and walking back out
With the book.
with the book.
Okay. I will end the spell before Teth comes back out.
All right, sounds good. Teth eventually comes back out. Her body still raging hot from walking through this heat source, but though her clothes never seem to burn, the book in her hands does not burn, and she places it on the counter. Okay, this date, and she just sounds so tired, and flips back. I just lost my thing. So there's silicon, sand, bunch of other things. Okay. And Alecto and Eleanor, you'd recognize this as Anya's ledger. Okay, so stuff that doesn't look like glass making. right, there's an entry here around that time for silver, 3 different types of stones, true spider webbing, pale sun essence.
Pale sun essence.
Yeah, it's expensive as hell. 5. And she kind of like points to where it is, where it just kind of says 5 fucking mage coins with a frowny, angry face next to it in Anya's handwriting. Because mage coins are so fucking expensive. And then with like a times 3 equal 15. Note, find a better supplier. Anything that's not related to glass is this entry right here. She kind of turns it around. And the ledger actually says the customer as well as like the full list of things that she would need and the general the estimated completion date for her own reference. And you would see a name that says Avelia. This is the only lead I can give you. And she kind of like...
There's nothing else.
She stares at you, Alecto. Like, this is all I can fucking do, please leave.
I have one more thing to ask you.
What?
In private, please.
Like, you can see her trying to figure out whether this is worth it. She kind of like looks at everyone else. Fine. Is there anything else I can help you with before the lovely Alecto would like to speak with me? Guns, weapons, armor.
Perhaps in another time I would like to purchase one of your wares, but thank you. I've intruded upon you enough.
Wry smile.
While this is happening, Roshni is gonna, because the book was put down on the counter and Roshni was sitting on that counter,
Yes,
so
yes, you
they're
were.
just gonna kind of lean into it in such a way that it would be inconvenient for Teth to take it back with them.
Explain how a bit more?
Just like, kind of like blocking it almost with their body, kind of like an out of sight, out of mind kind of scenario, hoping that Teth is distracted enough by Alecto in this moment to forget to bring it back.
She didn't like put it down and like let it out of her sight. She put it down, like kind of turned it, and she's like holding onto it.
Ah, damn.
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
Never mind then.
Best friend.
We can try. We can try.
Definitely try. I apologize, Hamnah, but she kind of gives everyone a look.
Lillian would leave after Ishmael.
Yeah, Ishmael kind of like gives a nod, looks at Alecto once more, and then leaves.
I will step outside, but I'm gonna wait by the door.
I don't suppose it would be okay with you if I took a look through this ledger, would it, Teth? To help us with our investigations.
I want you to roll.
You can
for
keep
this.
it, but...
I want you to roll for this, Roshni.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I have...
+1
I
from
have a
the card.
persuasion 2.
+1 from the
I'm going to
card.
use an interaction bene
+4.
and hope to dear Lord that this
You want to use hidden knowledge or anything else?
Can I even use hidden knowledge? I don't
You
know
can.
that I have.
You can use it to any roll you want. It's just whatever bullshit you can pull out of your ass to justify it.
Yeah, I don't think Roshni has any like particular like special relationship with Teth to be able to like pull on something here for this, so I think we're just gonna go with the 4.
Any sortilege?
No, we'll just go straight.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 plus 4, so 12.
She just looks exhausted and she just kind of pushes it towards you. And as you're like walking out the door, Eleanor, make sure I get this back, please.
I will.
And she kind of like half throws it at you, Roshni.
Roshni catches it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. And then when the four of you leave, she kind of crosses her arms at you. What the fuck do you want?
Anya's true name.
What about it?
Do you know it?
Why do you want to know? Daggers. You're asking me something extremely private, extremely important, where if Anya asked me herself what her true name was, I wouldn't tell her.
Would you like to be able to ask her?
What's that supposed to mean? Just honestly shoot it to me straight. I don't have time for guessing games.
I walked in here with 2 goetics. Teth.
Yeah, like I can tell someone's order just by looking at them.
Well, I did.
Okay. What do you hope by bothering Anya in the Pale? Doesn't she deserve to rest in peace?
It wasn't her time. We could bring her back.
And there's just some emotion at that.
I saw it.
Saw what?
I saw her alive.
What?
Not in a dream, not in a vision. She was alive. Living again.
How?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. It's also a pain in the ass. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but does she want to come back?
She looked pretty happy to be alive to me.
Like, I would love for her to be back. I'm sure you would love for her to be back too. But none of our opinions matter. Only hers matters.
Do you want to help me or not?
On one condition. I'm there during the summoning and you don't hear the name.
Fine.
You just let me know when and where. Get out.
And Alecto opens the door and leaves.
She'll kind of go around to her front of her counter and like look out the door, waiting for Roshni to be done. But like staring at you as you're looking through the ledger. What are you looking for, my dear?
That's a good question. I'm looking for anything in this ledger that is not like Anya's usual work. So some items that are magical that are similar to the hand armor that has been made. Literally any entry that is just slightly weird or unusual, noting down like what was used to make it, what was made, and who it was made for. Also when.
When are you looking? Because this ledger is very full. There's no way you can go through this entire thing.
Okay, looking for roughly around the time that the hand armors were made, so slightly before and slightly after. So around that time period.
Since you have... The problem is you're not a maker. You don't know shit. So you see a lot of items that just don't make sense to you because you don't know if these are ingredients, you don't know if they're magical or not. So unless you like ask someone to help you, I don't think you can reasonably figure out what the fuck this means. Because there's a lot of weird items that sound weird and are weird that aren't magical used in making.
I'm probably gonna regret this, Eleanor.
Yes, Roshni.
Would you help me look through this ledger to
What
see if
What exactly are we looking for?
anything unusual, anything that Anya didn't normally make, magical items, things similar to the armor?
And why are we looking for this? We're already searching for 3 pieces of armor.
3.
Oh wait, shit. No, I didn't
You
hear
only
that
know
part where
2.
there was 3.
You only know 2.
We're already looking for 2 pieces of armor.
And who's to say that there weren't other items, similar ones that Anya was making? We don't know whether this was a one-time thing or this was something that she was doing regularly. Wouldn't it be useful to know?
I suppose I can take a look.
Roshni is going to look with Eleanor. This is not a solo activity.
No, for sure. I did not expect it to be. So I'm gonna take a look, and I'm gonna start with the hand armor piece. Can you read me that section one more time? Because there's something in there that.
Yeah, so the hand armor piece, it has the information is Avelia is the order person that orders it. The rough date, which is insert date here. There was ingredients for, you got your regular ingredients like the metals, the gems, and stuff like that, which also does, and everything's in sets of 3 except for the gems.
Okay,
which
that's
is,
what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, the gems are in sets of, each gem, which is a garnet, sapphire, and diamond, are in sets of 3. So you saw Alecto's, it has 3 gems on it, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But there are also 3 sets of 3 gems, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
3 sets of 3 gems. And then the main ingredients are some of the main ingredients, the higher level ingredients is true spider webbing, and the power source is sun essence.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. And then before and after, the date is a bunch of other maker stuff, but it's mostly glass.
Gotcha.
Like that was her main thing. Like she normally made glass stuff. Like she knew how to make jewelry and like a bunch of other things like leather and bookbinding, but her main medium was glass.
And the person who bought all 3 of them?
From what you can tell, yes.
All right. And I have 2 other questions. I just fucking lost both of them.
Oh no.
Never mind.
You can pop them in and interrupt when
Yeah,
you
I might, yeah.
Okay. But mostly a lot of her magical stuff was glass.
Oh, here's one of them. Anything unusual about the suppliers, if that's mentioned? Is the supplier written down?
Yes.
All right.
Some general ones. You would notice that the suppliers are... How did you meet your suppliers, Alex?
Gosh.
Did we come up with anything, or can I throw something in here?
All I know is that I met one of them, or one set of them, through the Church of Midnight.
Yes, that's the one I was thinking of. Okay, so those are the Church of Midnight. But
I'm here for anything and everything.
You would see that the metal and some of like the lower level ingredients, like not stuff from a true spider, is red and silver. Gotcha. Okay. Yes, and then the other things is they had to be specially sourced. So probably there was a couple names list. I'm not going to come up with the names right now. Yeah. But one of them is a gem seller, which has a note to it, says last purchase is retiring next to the gems. And then the higher level and the power source is specially sourced from someone in the Celestial Bazaar.
Well, it looks like there are 3 of these. Here, look. I'm going to point out how each ingredient is written in sets of 3. How the mage coins is written 5 coins times 3, and all of that.
This is also parent to Lillian and Ishmael as well, since you technically are there as well as they're flipping through this.
So you think there's a 3rd one then that we don't know about?
That, or Anya was gathering materials to make a 3rd one but never finished, but that's not really likely considering it has a completed sale date.
Eleanor, even I can do math. Is there nothing else other than these?
Not particularly, no. I believe this name, who this was sold to, was mentioned by Ishmael previously,
That's
and
Kiran's sister, yes.
I know the metal seller, but that's about it.
It seems that this may have been a family business then.
Perhaps.
And like looking at Ishmael as they're saying that.
Wait a second. All three of these were sold to this family.
Eleanor, you're muted in meets. Can you please unmute yourself?
How did that even happen? Give me 1 second. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry about that. Anyway, wait a minute. That's Kieran's sister, so all three of these were purchased by the same family.
Yep.
Is it possible these were stolen from them and they're trying to get them back?
If so, then why would Kiran hand theirs to Taryn?
And why would my
That's a good
mother have
point.
had one?
I don't know.
The real question is who the third one is made for and whether or not they still have it in their possession. Because if that is still out in circulation, we could get ahead.
I think that father that was mentioned in Kiran's journal, the one who was, what did it say? Lofty ambitions to take her down. I think that's what we need to follow. It seems that Kiran's family is at the heart of all of this. Who is she and who is Kiran's father?
Alecto, at this point, your conversation is done.
And Alecto forcefully pushes the door open and just comes like sweeping out, real quick, no real acknowledgement, and starts just walking real fast down the street.
I will close the book without giving it back to Roshni and head back inside.
Teth gives you a quiet, silent nod before waiting for you to leave, locks the door, and puts the sign to closed.
Mm-hmm. The only thing I will say as I come in with the book, I'm so sorry.
She actually goes, if you allow her a hug.
Yeah, I will definitely give her a very strong hug.
Yeah. And then she will lock the door when you leave.
Sure.
I think Roshni would follow Alecto as they, essentially run down the street, basically, walk down the street very quickly, and would just kind of go, arms behind their back, and just, as they catch up. So, Curse Maker, pointedly using not their real name. That was eventful.
I'm not really in the mood, little rabbit.
No, but we're not supposed to be alone, are we?
Well, here it is then. You showed me yours, I show you mine.
What exactly are you referring to?
And Alecto slows a little bit, looks down at Roshni. The blue royal Roshni.
Right. Although, I think that was different than yours.
Maybe. Just a bit.
How are you?
How am I? I am just as I always have been, Roshni. The Curse Maker. That's all.
Well, you're missing something. And they pull the dagger out of their pouch and give it back to Alecto.
Alecto pauses. I think they like actually stop walking. And they take the dagger back. And they don't sheath it right away. They kind of like get low again. Where like the gold of the mask is kind of like flashing, you know, like closer to Roshni's face. Does it not scare you?
Why should it scare me?
Because I killed Anya Prose.
Doesn't seem like you did it intentionally.
That is an assumption that not many people would draw from that conversation.
Maybe I just like to assume the best.
It doesn't quite seem like you either.
Well, then tell me, Cursemaker. Did you kill Anya Prose intentionally?
What would you say if I said yes?
I would ask you if I should be afraid.
And I would tell you that if you aren't already, then you'd be mistaken.
Well, lucky for you, I'm not afraid. And I'm also never wrong.
You will be one day, Roshni.
I'd like to see the day.
I wouldn't. And Alecto stands back up, resheaths the dagger, and turns to wait for the rest of the group to catch up.
So, we've got about technically 8 minutes left, but I know I have my scene, but also a little bit of time for a quick scene if you still wanted to do the one you wanted to do, C, which will put us a little over, and I'll leave it up to the group. What would you like to do? We're okay with going over a little bit? Okay then. C. How would you reach out to Lillian? Or how would this come about is the better question.
I think one of these vignettes would be a day that Alecto is staying at Lillian's.
Perfect.
If that's okay with you.
That sounds good.
And they're kind of an odd duck house guest in the glass walls that they are very, they're very tentative about touching anything in here. I think.
Something that we haven't brought up about the house that I keep forgetting, Alecto, but this is a great time to bring it up. When you arrive, there is a cat that is just looking you up and down.
Judgmentally.
Kind of just
very judgmentally.
Very judgmentally. And anyone who has been to my house has seen the cat. Always giving you a very judgmental look.
The cat looks up at you, Lillian, and kind of looks at Alecto. Make sure they don't break anything, and walks away.
I promise we'll be careful.
The cat walks through glass, the glass parts of the wall. It just does things.
I didn't know you had a pet, Lillian.
They came with the house. I sometimes think it might be their house. I don't know. They keep a watch though.
I'm glad somebody is watching out for you.
Umbra looks at you.
Yeah, Umbra is also does not leave your side, Lillian, at all. He doesn't eat, he doesn't sleep. Follows you around.
And I'll just show Alecto the house. This is the dark room. Be careful. The rooms do shift sometimes. Sometimes the house will take you where it thinks you should be, and not where you're intending to go. But it always works out in the end. So here are the guest rooms. Roshni's room is this one. You could stay in. There's this one and this one. Well, one has a bigger bathroom. It's just really up to you which one you would like. She's just like very nervously giving you the house tour.
Alecto is silent the whole time, just like silently following Lillian around. Although I think they drop. They don't really have anything, actually. I was like, they dropped their bag. They don't have a fucking bag. Am I mad?
The sword.
They just no. They keep that. They keep that shit on them. No matter what. And I think by the end of the tour, where maybe Lillian is like being like, and this is the closet. I don't know. I like just like, where would you like to talk?
Oh, the study is a great place to talk.
Let's go to the study then.
And I will lead Alecto to the study, which was my father's study, which is where Val and I have, not Val, Ishmael. Gotta stop calling you Val. Ishmael and I have been doing all our research. So you'll see books out and notebooks and all kinds of things.
There in the corner of the study, which I don't know if you've ever really noticed, it's up to you, is a large pillow flat on the ground, and Umbra goes over and makes himself at home on it.
I'll just kind of look. So yeah, that's also new.
No, it was
the house.
It's always been there.
Oh, the house has always been there?
Well, the pillow has always been
the
there.
Pillow.
Yep. Now it makes sense.
Aha. I haven't forgotten, Lillian, the promise that I made to help you.
Thank you.
That started all of this.
Yes. The curse, a curse. I don't know. Well, there must be a reason that I'm like this, that I don't remember. And for the longest time, I thought it was because this isn't real. And I don't know which is right.
Have you ever considered the possibility that neither are right?
Yes. There has been the possibility that this is all made up, both sides, and that I could wake up to something more horrible tomorrow.
Ever the optimist.
But I want to believe that I'm not supposed to be this way. And that there's something that's stopping me from remembering.
Well, there's one way to find out if you have a curse, Lillian.
Okay.
And Alecto takes their mask, pulls it again, like up like they do, over their face. And they look kind of at Umbra in the corner, like one eye, and then back to you. Can I touch you?
Yes. And they're like, Lillian will hold out her hand.
And Alecto will very tentatively reach out and take Lillian's hand.
I believe that, if I am remembering correctly, I feel like you are a little cold, Lillian? Are you cold? Or am I remembering incorrectly?
Yes, I am. You'll notice when you take her hand, it's kind of like touching cold glass. Like it, for a second, you think that you didn't touch a hand, that you might have touched glass, but then it kind of reforms into a hand.
There are no sinking feelings, just a weird sensation of, is it glass or is it skin?
And Alecto pulls away And they kind of rub their tattoo absently. Curses are funny things, Lillian. And coming back from shadow is a funnier thing. When I first came back, I was vicious. I didn't know what was real. I was afraid. I was confused. Just like you are. And I can't say that it gets easier immediately. But curses are funny things. I put curses into objects, vessels, glass, to keep them, to give them to others. How do I keep my own? How do I know when I'm being inhabited by one? How do you know? You're not broken, Lillian.
You see the cracks start to form faster.
What is that but the pain that we feel?
I don't know why. About any
I
of
don't
it.
know why. I don't know why either. When they put me in shadow, they took me out of the war and put me into a different one. Why did I still fight? Why do I still fight? Why do curses stick to me like honey? Why do you break apart? I don't know. And perhaps I never will.
But what if there was a way to stop it?
Then I would say that we are on very similar paths. So we might as well walk together.
I would very much like that.
I'm sorry I can't give you a more clear answer.
There is some relief knowing that I might not be cursed. Knowing that it's not something weighing on me. It makes me have more questions about other things, but being able to take something off that list does help. So thank you for your help.
At least it's not a curse, Lillian.
At least it's not a curse. I just feel at least if it was a curse, it'd be easier to solve, maybe.
I know I make it look easy, but it's not.
You do your job well.
And you will do yours well.
Thank you.
There's a lot we can learn from them, too. Curses. Pay attention to yours.
I will. And, oh. How do you stay safe? You have people like your friends who keep you safe. And that's what we're going to help do. So you also don't worry about yours. Well, not as much now.
I don't know if I do keep my friends safe, Lillian. But I hope that instead I can protect you and help you.
You do. And thank you again.
You poor sweet thing. It's so easy to tease you. I almost feel bad about it.
Oh, are you hungry? Do you want anything I could get?
What's my favorite food, Lillian? You should know by now.
I do not know, because you tend to like all sweets. But if I was to guess, it would be a sweet item.
Then you know me much better than a lot of people do.
Well then, it's probably a good thing that I just picked up a cake.
Come on, let's go then.
Excellent.
So, as the two of you go get your cake, it's almost poetic that as you go get cake and we pan out from Lillian's house. Near Lillian's home, there is a graveyard called Laurel Hill Cemetery. However, Lillian and the locals better know it as Memory Field, because of the fact that you can view memories there. We zoom in on Memory Field, full of gravestones and mausoleums. The entire expanse, as far as the eye can see, also covered in small glass spheres, only a couple inches across. And Memory Field is kept by the Memory Keeper, a tall creature, man, person, it's very hard to tell, rivaling Alecto, though much thinner and spindly, always dressed in black with gloves, though it's hard to tell. Sometimes it's a three-piece suit, and sometimes it's long robes dragging out behind it. But the one thing that is always the same, regardless of what they are wearing, is a black mask flat with only 2 eye holes where you can see very pale eyes, and what skin you can see is extremely white, almost as if it was dead. The scene pans in on the Memory Keeper, whose gaze follows the ground, looking for what you can assume to be a memory. They eventually crouch down and pick up one glass sphere in their hand and peer into it. And in that sphere, an image forms. It's fuzzy at first, but eventually the face of a woman appears. Light brown skin, very curly, long hair, brown hair, with sun streaks through it, just kind of held back in a kerchief, wearing overalls, and it's hard to tell where they are because the vision is from someone else, and they are looking down at her. This woman is holding something in her hands, kind of looking down, back up, smiling, and though there's no words to this memory, you can see on her lips, "I'm proud of you." And she kind of looks down at her hands again where she's holding something that we cannot see. And some gears change and click. And then she sharply looks back up at whoever she is talking to. And she speaks again. These words still simple, easy enough to read on her lips. Very iconic. "I love you." And very slowly, 2 hands cup her cheeks, strong, large, covered in thick black geometric tattoos. And this person leans down in a kiss. It is long, soft, and tender. And when the two of them pull away, this woman's face is giddy, so happy, smiling ear to ear, before one eye of a bright blue fades into a deep brown, and she collapses, the person holding her scrambling to catch her. And the item she was holding skids off into a corner where we can see a gold-plated owl mask. The memory keeper places the orb back down on the ground amidst blades of grass, stands up, and walks away. And that's where we're going to end the session. Hey, everybody. I said we were going to drop several bombs today. That was the last one. How's everyone doing? I'm going to check in with everyone first before we go into sign-offs.
Hey, Mare, what the fuck?
Theory confirmed. Let's go.
Hey, everybody.
We all know the most important thing was the sweet tooth. Come on. Everything else was just fluff.
Hey, everybody. Hi. That was session 4 of the Soul's Confidant. We got a lot of shit done today. I'm so happy that we got through most of the big shit. We're gonna go. I know we need to decompress after this, but let's do sign-offs and like end of character stuff. I think maybe C should go last. Unless you want to go first.
I'm ready.
Fucking
Bring it
go.
on.
I saw your face
I'm
throughout that
just
whole
processing.
thing.
I was hiding. I was trying to hide. It wasn't working. Hi, everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. I'm a dancer, digital artist, tabletop streamer. You can find me most of the time on Transplanar RPG, where I play someone maybe just as sad as Alecto. Okahien, our lovable Asimar Bloodhunter, who's a nightmare. So catch me over on Transplanar at 3 p.m. US Central Time if you want to know more about that. Alecto, I would call that a despair session.
Oh, hell yes. Absolutely.
And I would call that a fulfilling their arc session.
Yes, you are getting there.
Laughs nervously. Is there anything else you need from me?
Do you have a favorite part?
Yeah, the fucking goddamn all of you. For being that. Mare, that last little bit was beautiful. How dare you do this to me? I'm sweaty. And I will pass introductions to April.
Hi, everyone. I'm April. You can find me everywhere as April Raygun. I do this on Fridays. I play a magical girl on Sladies, and on Tuesdays, I play Godchild for Hades. No, that's the wrong game. Camp Half-Blood. Play 2 Godchildren. That gets confusing. Sorry, there was so much that was dropped today. My brain is still processing. I get a joy?
Do you want a joy? Do you want a joy?
I mean, I was confirmed not cursed.
Okay.
And everyone's being really nice to me. And Lillian's doing pretty good so far. She's like, everything's okay for her. And she got a puppy out of it. So, joy.
Everyone loves dogs.
True.
Most people love dogs.
And then, yeah.
Favorite part?
That's it. Favorite part. Oh, God. So, my brain is still being wrapped around the beginning with Roshni. Just all that. Roshni and Shudder. And so I will throw it to Hamnah.
Yes, hello. My name is Hamnah. I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at hshahid_, that's HSHAHID_, where I talk about all of the different projects I'm a part of. Today, I will argue today was a joy session for Roshni. We learned lots of information. We got lots of cool stuff happening. And I will also argue that on that front, I progressed my arc. I think pretty, like, you can't argue I didn't. In terms of favorite parts, there was so much that happened. I really enjoyed seeing the Teth and Alecto, like, showdown. That was very fun for me. It wasn't just Roshni sitting there amusingly watching, it was also me. And with that, I will pass it on to Val.
Hello everyone, my name is Valiant Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am a variety Twitch streamer, as well as a TTRPG performer and GM. Boy, what a session that was! I play Ishmael. That's a joy for Ishmael, I think. Mostly because I think he felt particularly helpful. Precipitating some action. So I'll argue a joy for that. I'm looking at GM again for the arc thing, because I think I feel like I just touch
I
the
think
boundary
everyone
each time.
progressed their arcs today.
Sounds great. So Ishmael progressed their arc today. Definitely a joy, feeling useful. Favorite part? Oh my goodness. My favorite part is actually seeing Roshni talk to Lillian and kind of like undermine that memory, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
That hurt so bad.
Cause that was really interesting, really juicy for good old Val here. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Thank you. I'm gonna popcorn that to Alex.
Oh gosh, that's me. Hello everybody, my name is Alex. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at PhoenixAxolotl. This is the only thing I'm doing on the internet currently, but that may change once I graduate and then I move and then I start a new job and everything happens all at once.
Hi.
Anyway, after that, who knows? As far as this session goes, I think I advanced both my arcs. Correct me if I'm wrong.
You can take 2 acumen for that.
Okay. Yes, so both my arcs move forward. Gosh, this is probably a despair session, though not as much of a blowout as I thought it was going to be. I think that especially Teth, like, not being super mad at me at the end really made me, Alex, feel good because I didn't want to make her mad.
Eleanor didn't do shit.
I kind of ambushed her. I like low-key
you
kind of
ambushed her,
ambushed
but
her.
Comparatively, who do you think she's gonna be more pissed at?
That's true. You know.
Eleanor's like angel face to her.
Yeah. Thanks for stepping in on that one, Alecto. Gosh, as far as favorite moments go, I really loved seeing the familiars. I don't know how the Goetics interacted with their familiars, whether they picked them out, whether they were selected for them, or what exactly went on there. But like everything about that was like so much fun to see. I really loved how both April and Val like talk to their familiars too, like how Val is over here talking to this creature whose name is Ms. Deed, and then April now has a very large dog that I'm so excited is just there.
Friend.
Yes, big friend.
Love big dogs. And hi, I'm Mare. You can find me on Twitter at Archmage of Dice. This is also my only project going on right now, so please join us next week at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on Friends Who Roll Dice. I had a lot of fun with all of those scenes, but I do think I liked yelling at Alecto as Teth. That was fun. Yeah, so that's really all I got. Am I missing anything that I should mention? Okay.
Stuff for the channel?
Oh yeah. Tomorrow we have Mind and the Martyr at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is a D&D 5e campaign run by at RedMageRay on Twitter. And I know we have some other stuff upcoming in the works, but it hasn't been announced yet, so I can't say anything. Anyway, everybody, take care of yourselves. We love you, and have a lovely start of your week. Bye!